Jai Ma. Om. So this is the first of a two-part video on awakening. Part one is Kundalini awakening. So I'm going to speak from my own experience as usual. I'm not speaking from things I've read, hearsay, gossip, intellectual matter. I am going to put into words my own experience. So Kundalini awakening is really the beginning of the spiritual path. We can say the end of the beginning, because in the very beginning we're seekers. We don't even know what we're seeking, really, most of us. But that which we are seeking is seeking us. And that which is seeking us, and we are seeking, if we know it or not, is Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini is one word for describing it. Shakti is another word. It's putting it in goddess form. Kundalini Shakti would be a third way of saying it. That's the way I will address it in this video. So something is driving us to seek. Maybe we have a sense of dissatisfaction with the world, with the material world. Is this all there is? There must be something more. In the Matrix, they say, like an itch you can't scratch. Like a splinter in your mind. That's another way of putting it. So we seek. We don't know what we're seeking, but we seek. And this seeking often takes external form, but also takes internal form, as the barrier between the two is not so clear. And eventually, if grace smiles upon us, our Kundalini wakes up, Kundalini Shakti wakes up. So we talk about awakening. What is awakening? Awakening is, well, it supposes that something is asleep. It was always there, just like getting out of bed in the morning. So it's asleep, it wakes up, comes to life, takes action, movement, from a dormant sleeping state to an awake state. So many people and teachers talk about awakening, but don't talk about Kundalini awakening. From where I'm sitting in my journey and my experience, the two are inseparable, because what awakes is the Kundalini Shakti. There is no awakening without Kundalini Shakti, at least in that terminology and in my experience. So at first, we might have experiences of Kundalini awakening rather than a full-blown awakening. So we can say like a stirring. So again, with the analogy of waking up in the morning, we move into a lighter stage of sleep, from deep sleep to something lighter. In the same way, we begin to have Kundalini experiences. Maybe our body starts tingling when we're meditating or exposed to certain environments or people, music. There can be a variety of this kind of phenomena: heat, intense feelings of bliss and joy. There are many Kundalini stirring experiences. And what differs stirring from awakening is the persistency. So just like in the waking out of bed in the morning analogy, once we're up, we're up. There's no going back to sleep. We're up, we're ready to start the day. In the same way, Kundalini, once it's up, it's up. So anything that isn't going on 24/7 and fully awake is a stirring. So if you have enough stirring experiences, eventually, if grace smiles upon you, you will get to awakening. So at first there's a sleep, Kundalini is dormant, we just have the 5 senses and maybe some inkling that there's something else out there. Then there's a stirring, which is the beginning of phenomena, but that phenomena is intermittent and seems to need to be stimulated by something external, whether you're meditating or going to a temple or sitting in front of a guru. And then there's awakening, which is Kundalini is awake and it's going on 24/7. Even if it's just tingling going on 24/7, it's 24/7. It impacts your whole life. So that's Kundalini awakening, and it's, as I said, it's the end of the beginning, it's the end of the search, because now what you've been looking for has found you, you have found her, and she has found you, and now we're in the middle, we could say. I mean, it's non-linear, but I'm just using the terminology. So that's Kundalini awakening. So once Kundalini wakes up and it's fully manifested and going, that becomes the intense sweet spot of the journey. So once Kundalini is awakened, it takes you on a mystical, magical, intense, loving journey to self-realization. So Kundalini awakening is the heart of all spirituality. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, do your own intuitive contemplation, your own discernment. Kundalini awakening is the goal of all yogas. There is no bhakti without shakti, and there is no shakti without bhakti. There is no jnana without shakti. There is no karma yoga without shakti. There is no guru seva without shakti. There is no awakening without shakti. There is no self-realization without shakti. Shakti is the sacred heart of yoga. Om.